All right, good morning, everyone. Yeah, one page. Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. Jerry, you have? All right, we're continuing right now this beautiful, beautiful piece we started a few days ago. And this is a piece from Rav Kluger of this mimer called Ki'ilu Yatsa. The truth is, for Chevra that are learning with us online, I'll be sending the text afterwards because we actually photocopied it and it's ready to go. And I was going over this piece of Shabbos and I realized that it could be that what he's really mechavening us to, what he's really directing us to, is the concept of what we've learned before, Shelo Lishma Ba Lishma, which means that when something that you can't say that you really know that it's Lishma, that it's L'Shem Hashem, that you know that you're doing something and you're consciously feeling it. So it's almost like, how would you interpret this saying of Chazal, Shelo Lishma Ba Lishma? What would you say? Fake it till you feel it?
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it? All right, how would you say it? What's the right way of saying it? Because it seems so non-authentic and so not organic, you know? This concept of fake it till you make it. It's a really interesting thing. But what we've been learning until now in this Ma'amar is that Rav Kluger is saying that he's basing everything on what? That we once, while we were still in Egypt, we kept a Seder. Remember he said that last week. While we were still in Mitzrayim, we actually kept Seder Pesach. Which means that what? It was in the schus of like pulling time from the future into now. Then in that merit of Emunah, that Emunah doesn't just mean it'll be okay, but I really do believe that it is okay right now, even though the actual salvation hasn't happened. I somehow draw upon into my now the chesed of what's going to be. Sometimes that happens to me in a concert. I don't know if you ever happened, Tom, like the music's not happening, and you're like, okay, Ribono Shleimo. I have to imagine a situation where the music is happening and what that feels like when the rhythm's on. So I'll go there, bring it back, I guess. Bring what I hope to be taking place and schlep it into my now, and then somehow that really does affect your mindset as to how you're feeling about the music right now, and it does wake it up a little bit. It's very hard things, honestly.
I don't know how you can even live here without this concept.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Way too much for me.
Absolutely. Way too much for anybody. Boker Tov. Absolutely. It's true. It's a whole Eretz Yisrael living.
I mean, that's the whole experience.
I guess you're right. In Chutz La'aretz, it's like, no, it's fine right now. And in Eretz Yisrael, it's like, okay, it's probably fine right now. Right? In Eretz Yisrael, I'm sure it's fine right now. You know, it's so true. It's such a true concept. Good morning. Good morning. So this has been like this has been what we've been feeling in this Ma'amar so far, really is this concept of Seder is all about, we have to show your children how to get out of Mitzrayim. So what are you essentially doing? You're not showing them that one day everything will be okay. You're showing them that we're Jewish people who believe that even right now, it's right on. It is now. It is now. I might still be sitting in Egypt, but I'm going to do a Seder like they did back then. Even before I'm out of Mitzrayim. It is now. Now, this is a beautiful concept, and some people have a hard time dealing with this. What we're going to be seeing today is he's going to bring another aspect of trying to explain to us, to help us really understand what the concept of Emunah really is. Like we learned last week when he taught from the Abder Rebbe, that Emunah doesn't just mean I believe that everything will be okay. It means this concept of active drawing from the future into the present. Vayhi omenet hadasa. I'm teaching myself how to draw from the future like we just explained right now, but that really is what Emunah is. Again, a person that sits back and says, okay, I know you love me, so so it's all good. So that's not something you could actually give over to your child. It might work for you for the moment, but your child's going to look at that and laugh, not laugh at it, just be like, that's not something that that's not I can't, that's something I can relate to at all. And if Seder night is all about chinuch, then we have to figure out a way to do this concept of emunah in a way that they can mekala, they can receive it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Not just what works for me, but what can I give over. All right? That's the whole point of Seder night. You know, I know many parents that for them, their tactics worked perfectly for them to get them through the hurdles of life. And what they're struggling with is, my child could care less and doesn't connect at all to that which works for me. And it causes such a tension over there. You know, what works for me not only does not work for my child, it turns my child off. Shalom Edah, Chas v'Shalom, we shouldn't know such things. But that happens all the time. In fact, many conversations I'm having with parents is that, you know, I tried my best and I really did something that mamish works for me. What works for me, my child looks at what works for me. And in Hebrew you say the word baz. Who baz lezeh? He how would you say baz? He's like, huh? Yeah, like bizayon to him it's like, no, baz is like booze. It's like, you kidding me? That works for me. So again, that concept of, I'm sure everything will be okay, just gotta believe and dance and everything will be okay. No. It's more something else is happening to us Seder night that we have to really understand. But now he's going to show us an element of how this actually works before. So look inside. We're in the middle of Shin Vav. Bechol zeh, under the paragraph Siluk HaMekatregim. One of the things that you end up doing by drawing the future into now on the level of Yitzias Mitzrayim in your own life. Remember, Vani b'chasdecha batachti, I trust in your chesed. You haven't saved me yet, but what? Yagel libi b'shuasecha. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. It hasn't happened yet. But because I have emunah, it causes me to truly be b'simcha, because I know everything will be taken care of. So why should I wait to the time where it actually happens? I'm going to do that right now. Now, he says a beautiful thing here. B'chol ze genuzah havana nosefet. There's a whole other understanding here. The ita b'sfarim hakadoshim she'al yedei shechaim b'foal esa geula od b'terem ba. When a person lives geula, even before it actually came, this is trippy words right now. Gormim lamekatrigim lachshov ki hine achen ba kvar hageula. What do you cause the mekatrigim? What are the mekatrigim? The prosecutors. What is he referring to when he says the prosecutors? Huh? Or, yeah, what's another word? Like the other, whatever you want to call the other side. Yetzer Hara, the angels of the other side, the other side, the energy of the other side, which we know. Whenever Kedusha is about to take place, you know it. It always comes. Like if you take upon something holy and it's just smooth sailing and it's not hard at all, I don't know how gewaltic what you're trying to do in the world really is. If there's not this other side, it's probably not so geschmack what you're trying to do. But whenever you want to take on something very holy and something very real, the other side is always going to come and try hard. So what does he say over here? When you live this drawing from the future into your life right now, so what happens? He says, Gormim lamekatrigim lachshov ki hine kvar ba'a geula. You cause the other side to think, oh, redemption's happened already. Redemption's happening right now. Ve'al ken osim et kol ma shebeyadam lekatreg uleakev ve'az mesulakot yedehem. They try to do whatever they need to do to remove this enthusiasm, right? They try to do whatever they're trying to do. Because they think, they look at you and they're like, oh, Geula's happening right now. So now I got to do my keneged zeh. Now I have to come with my anti-force. And they do everything they can, and they don't have anything left, any koach in them anymore, to try to steer you away from being b'kedusha. You fake them out. You're saying you fake them out. Next paragraph, Tzadik, Talmid Chacham saying, next paragraph, exactly. You fake them out. או אז מתעוררת עץ רצון לגלות את הגאולה ללא הפרעת המקטרגים. And then what happens is that there's an Eis Ratzon to now reveal the Geula without any of the bothering of the prosecutors. There's nothing coming in the way. Why? They already came. They already came, they did their thing. They think they we're targeting the right target, it's not there anymore. Now Jerry's right. Uchmo chen, ze sod inyan tkiyos de meyushav. Did you ever hear this concept? Tkiyot de meyushav versus tkiyot de meumad. So basically the tkiyas of shofar, what's the whole inyan? Remember, who plays a very big role in Rosh Hashanah? As much as we don't want to admit it, but a lot of our Rosh Hashanah is based around it. The Satan, right? We try to fake him out, trick him out, 2 days, 1 day, tkiyas here, tkiyas there. But this is the concept, he says, of tkiyos de miyushav. What are the tkiyot de miyushav? The tkiyos shofar that take place before Shmona Esrei are called tkiyot de miyushav. Why? Because halachically, you're allowed to sit down during those tkiyos. We don't hold it, meaning we don't do that. We all stand up as if it's the highest moment in the world, because it is. But really, those are the tkiyos shofar that you're allowed to sit down. Tkiyos de miyushav, as opposed to the tkiyos shofar that take place afterwards in Shmona Esrei, those are called tkiyos de meumad. Those you have to stand up. Well, you're in Shmona Esrei as well. Especially if you're Nusach Sfard, you do the tkiyos in the middle during Chazaras Hashatz. During the silent, during the silent tkiyos. What did we end up doing here last year? You remember?
Did they do that in Uman? Did they do that?
I'm sure they do it in Uman.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm sure, and the Rebbe's, I'm sure they did it like that. I'm sure. Here too, we should do that. It's a very
big clock and then
in the middle of Shmona.
I think 2 years ago, interesting. I think 2 years ago we did it like that, and this last year we didn't do it for some reason. But anyway, this is the inyan, is what Jerry pointed out too. Chmochen ze sod inyan tkiyos de miyushav. Kodem ikar tkiyos shehem b'sha'as tkiyos de meumad. Meaning the ikar tkiyos, the real tkiyos, the real important ones are when? Later in Shmona Esrei, right? But he says over here, shebitkiyot elu, in the tkiyos of the miyushav, savura satan she'ine kvar tokin. He sees, they're blowing, it's happening right now. What are you really doing? You're faking him out.
smoke screen.
Mamish, umekatreg v'savur shebekach asa et shelo. And the other side says, okay, I did my shlichus in the world, I'm going to start to stir it up over here. And he really feels he did his shlichus already. Ulachar miken, shekvar seleket yado. But then when he's already removed, and he's done, it's like a bee that stings and dies. Right, Mamish, the same thing. Now you can blow shofar, it's kiyas the moment. Now then you blow shofar, the real shofar blowing, the most important shofar blowing, without any kitrugin. Tokin b'me'umad v'nitzolin b'kitrugav. And look what he says here. V'eviu al kach ma'aseh melech. They bring a story about a king. Shebechol es shenolad lo yeled. Whenever he had a child that was born, met achar leidato. This child died after it was born. Shelo nida lo aleinu. Begilu yoatzav, his advisors revealed, they found out, she'echad misonav, one of the people that hate the king, po'el kishufim, he's basically involved in witchcraft, ubechach gorem lemitat harach hanolad, and somehow he causes the death of the newborn. Ya'atzlo echad mi'chachamav, one of his advisors advised him and said, She'ot beterem aleda, listen, before the child's even born, Yotzi kol shekvar nolad hayeled, proclaim that the child was already born. Ve'az hamechashef yif'ol et zemamo larik. And then what's going to happen? The witchcraft is going to work very hard right then and there, and it'll be for nothing. Ve'yisbor ki kvar asa et shelo v'tanuach da'ato. He'll say, okay, I did my thing already. And then his da'at will rest. Meaning then he won't be busy trying to cause any problems. Or as be'es aleida, yinatzel hayed l'chaim, and then there's much more of a chance, be'ezrat Hashem, that this child survives and makes it through. Ki lo tishre alav klalat ha'kishuf, because the curse of this witchcraft, of this black magic, won't have any shaychus to us now. You think this is like Baba Maisus, right? You think this is just hokey pokey stuff? This is not the way that. This stuff doesn't really work for us, and it's not shaykh to us in our lives. Do you know that we're surrounded by mekatrigim all the time? Did you ever notice in your life when you want to do something holy, that the other side, Rabbi Shlomo would say, brother, other side, is right there with you, mamish like a shadow? Because his shlichus in the world is to prosecute. That's what he was created for. And your job is to have a sanegor, which means a an attorney, like a defense. But he's saying over here, the way to trick out this shlichus of the prosecutor, which is inevitable and needs to happen in this world, that's what this world is all about, zeh le'umat zeh, is that there really is a way to fake him out. Mamish, there's a way to fake him out. And he says it's not just like this cool new Hasidish concept. He's showing over here, this is basically one of the secrets of Rosh Hashanah, but now he's going to bring it back even to the Torah. Look what he does now. V'ramzu shekach havla Mitzrayim. And it's hinted to, it's alluded to, that this is exactly what used to happen in Mitzrayim. Eid zamam paro berisha lechalas es Moshiach shel Yisrael. At the time that Paro, in his wickedness, attempted to wipe out the chance of having a Moshiach, of having the Redeemer for Am Yisrael. Remember, his advisors told him from there they're going to have a leader being born. So what is Paro busy doing the whole time? And Paro is the quintessential. He is the Yetzer Hara. He is the Sitra Achra. He is all that dark Kitrug side. And if you think this isn't relevant to us, do you realize how many times we spoke about leaving Egypt even this morning? And how many times you mentioned it on Shabbos, whether it was Kiddush or Tefillah, something we're going through all the time. It's always in front of us. It's always in our life. So he says over here, that at that time, Paro, Pa'al Pe'ulotav, Legalot Leidat Kol Zachar Ulashnicho Layor. Paro did whatever he could, all the time, to find out when that Leidat Kol Zachar, what's the good word? We davened this morning, huh? Okay. Okay, Tehillim. And the refuah should be for Avram Aryeh ben Golda. The refuah. So he says, Paro, what was he doing? He was trying to reveal this. Let's try to see how much we can do, okay? It's only a few more lines. So try to really focus as much as you can beyond the drilling, okay? Ve'al zeh amru lo, how did the meyaldot ha'ivriot, shifra and pua, the birth wives, right? What did they do? Al zeh amru lo ha'meyaldot ha'ivriot al neshot Yisrael b'terem tavo alein ha'meyaldot ve'yaladu. Remember, their whole chap was, they're very fast. They told the Egyptian, right, the people, they said, listen, they already gave birth already. Even though that's not true. But they were able to fake them out as well, already in the Torah. Hainu shebekesh shebikshu lehasir eino hara'a min hayoldot. They were trying to remove that evil eye that was put onto the Yiddish woman giving birth, bringing birth into this world. And somehow their chokhmah is that they were able to fake out the real time of the birth of Jewish women. And they said the children were already born first. So by the mere fact that they removed that energy of Paro, finding each new Jewish baby and throwing him into the Ye'or, by that schus, by the way, what does it say about their schar? What is their reward of the Miyaldot? Does anyone know what it says in the Psukim? Right afterwards, what was their reward for faking out? Vayas lahem batim. Very good. Houses. A place of Yeshiva Dat. The Ishbitzer says, what do you mean? Vayas lahem batim, he gave them a house. He gave them a place to dwell. He gave these women that faked out the Sitra Achra a place to be in this world. And to bring forth Hashem's kavod in a way that you could actually do something with, instead of always being on the run. It's a whole Torah in the Meshilach, a beautiful Torah, how that was the reward of the women who basically were revealing to us the secret of faking out the kitrug. Because what happens to you? When you really are able to fake out the prosecution in your own life as to why you're not worthy to feel redeemed, but you fake it out and you do whatever you can, bless you, like he's saying over here as well, what's the result of such a thing? Like, what happens to you afterwards? Yesh lecha makom ba'olam. You have a place in the world. You have like a bite. You have now that prosecution has left me, now I can do something with that which I'm experiencing, instead of always being on the run, which is generally how we spiritually feel. Even though we made it through one thing, we feel like it's like, okay, what's the next thing, right? Because we're never really fooled out the mekatred. We always like kind of just make it through somehow and slip through the prosecution. But to completely fake him out means that what? That right now my geula is real. And there's something that I can do with this feeling that I'm feeling right now. And that is something, good morning, stranger. And that is something, I love the beard. And that is something that you could actually do. Now you can do something in the world. Reb Shlomo says, Pesach night, you actually start to really build your home. It's a very interesting thing. Why? Because there's absolute shalom. And you think like, are you kidding me? That's the night I want to destroy my home, right? No, if it's done for real, then Pesach night really is the night that I begin to build my home. Because now I can give over something to my child. My child needs to see me not just fleeing from spiritual danger, but by knowing what to do with it as well. So in a nutshell, what he's saying over here is that when I'm truly able to fake out the kitrug, I get the same reward that the Jewish midwives got in Parsha Shmot. Vayas lahem batim. God gave them then a house. There's a place now to build. There's a place to grow. There's a place to work. There's a place to receive. There's a place of Yishuv Hadat. I guess you could say like the settling of the mind. There's a place of where things can actually be given over in a menschlichkeit way. It says by what they did, by removing Paro's koach, again, that means the koach of the other side. So what they were merited, what they were able to do, was that they were able to really, really give Jewish children life. And that's the point of Seder night. It's to give Jewish children life. We want to give life to our children Seder night, and the Rebbeinu Shalom wants to give his children, to you and me, life Seder night, real life, to really be alive. Really being alive is not just surviving, it's thriving. You thrive when you fake out the kategor, right? When you fake out the prosecution, you have a world now of Yishuv Hadat, of settling of the mind, of now I can do something. That's something my child can relate to. What can't my child relate to in terms of giving over something to him? Just surviving from day to day. My child can't get anything from that. I barely make it myself. I'm going to give it over to my child. My child needs a derech. He needs a hashkafa. He needs something that can resonate with him that says, this is something that is a path for me. And a path is created Seder night. How? By this faking out. By this inyan of really drawing from the future, Geula, into now and living it. And saying right now, Emunah is Kinderlach. If in God's time it already exists, like we learned last week, that means that we can make that already exist for us right now. Again, it's not a simple thing. It's not simple at all. But that is so far what he's saying to us in this ma'amar of going there. So what I wanted to ask before we continue, between the whole mabul of, I don't know what's, I love you. Between all the interruptions, on a lemaisa level, right? Not do you think this is real, because this is divrei Elokim Chaim. Of course it's real. He just showed us how we act like this both in Rosh Hashanah with Tkiyas Shofar, of faking out the kitrug, and as well from the Parsha Shmot itself. Now let's draw this in to next Monday night. Okay? Next Monday night. What is it going to be like? How do you bring this energy into next Monday night? Right, Seder's Monday night, right? So now that's the shaila. How do you do it? What would you do? What would you say to yourself? How would you share right now how you're planning on faking out the prosecution? Who wants to share?
Yeah, on a practical level, maybe just make an early Seder for the kids.
So that's just focused on them?
Yeah. So it's just focused on them, and you're not obsessing about how's the Seder going to go.
Right.
Like, only going to be about the kids. Do I have something in it? Can I have some discussions with other people? At least this way, they got this taken care of. Let the Yitzhar try to figure out what's going on and where I'm at.
So he puts all his koach in. Right.
You don't want to do that.
It takes work.
Yeah, I know. You heard that push that to work for the kids.
No, but that's the point. He thinks I'm having the Seder earlier. He's going to try to come and mess with me. That's not really the real Seder. I don't know all the tricks yet.
No, but that's an interesting thing. Meaning, and then,
You have a model Seder.
yeah, you have a model state, and then I think it's very, and then,
That's cool.
but you know what the FFB voice says to you? What does it say? Right. It's so true. It's so true. That
You gotta throw all
I
it's
know,
so
I'm
true.
saying this now.
You gotta throw that out.
But
Yeah.
that, no, I'll tell you, yes, but here in this, I'm into tricks. Like, I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
So, like, there's gonna be some other seemingly wacky ideas that will come up now. But that's because as we bring it down to the line, so this was great esoteric ideas. But like, as we bring this down to, well, how are you gonna make this work now? You know, and so,
Right.
okay, this is like, I could like do this, not even so much for the kids, but for more of the Yitzhar side. I don't know. Shlomo said we can try to trick this other side, so let's come up with. I could see myself doing, trying to do something like
Right.
that.
We're planning to put all of our emphasis on Magi, because that's really the essence. So you have until Magi to throw up some smoke screen. That's
Okay.
all I'm doing.
Smoke screen until Maggid. What do you have? Kaddish, Urchatz, Karpas, Yachatz?
Yeah.
You got
At the
4
beginning, You got a
Simonim,
lot of time to get excited, get the kids all worked up into a fervor.
and then you're gonna fake him out.
I think that's our opportunity.
Who else understand? What else do we understand about this faking out concept? Anybody else?
Well, I'm coming into the Seder as an Abba, and I'm going to be prosecuted. So I'm going to try to hide as a Ben. I'm prosecuted as a minor.
Good.
That's
Good.
Gavant. That's
That's what I'm talking
that's so
about.
deep. That's so deep.
I can do that too.
I like being a bear.
Yeah, yeah. And you give. That's so deep what you said right now. And now you give over. Then you really give it over to your child. It's funny. Children look at their parents, and most of the time they say, "These people don't feel like they're children of God. They just think they're parents, and they're just in instruction mode." Right? You have got to connect to the aspect of Ben in order for the Ben to feel like he can relate to you. So is that a fake out? It kind of is. It's kind of an incredible fake. It's a real fake out. Meaning,
He shows up and who you're gonna prosecute? A bunch of kids?
right,
No way.
right,
They're not my kids
right.
here.
He prosecutes. Right, right. He prosecutes who he thinks should be is the person in charge. But if there's no one in charge, there's just a bunch of kids sitting around a table. He says, "Oh, okay, I'll try. I'll look for another house that has."
Go someplace else.
Right, like I'll knock on someone else's door.
It's like trying to make Pesach porn,
Yeah, big time. But that's avoda. You see, that's a beautiful concept what you said, Yoni. But that's big avoda. Like, okay, so how does a parent go into Ben mode? That's avoda. That's a lot of huh?
Questions.
Like you also ask questions. Reb Shlomo always said, "Do you realize that you don't answer the child's questions on Seder night? He asks questions, but you don't really answer them. You say like, this night is. Yeah, you just start telling a story. You don't really answer the questions. See, when you're a parent, you have to answer a question. When you're a child that has questions, so you start asking questions, and then someone just starts telling a story.
I mean, real Muna is probably not about answers.
Nachon?
Ultimate Muna is the answer. Is not
Yeah,
about
Yeah.
but the answer can be pulled back from the future. The answer, you can look forward and say, why is this night different? Because it's going, you pull it back.
Right. This night is different because this night we're not confined by the concept of time.
Right. That's true.
Only a child will give that
That-
answer.
huh?
Only a child will give that answer.
Really? Yeah?
What's time to a kid?
Exactly. What we've done, the avodah zarah that we've made with time, it's so true. It's so true. A child,
Pesach is locked into that too. That's the thing that has to be busted up.
asher hu lo yom, karev yom. What do we say in the Haggadah? Karev yom, asher hu lo yom velo laila. We say towards the end of the Haggadah. Bring forth a day. You know that niggun? It's an old Hasidic niggun. Karev yom, asher hu lo yom velo. Bring forth a day. Think of those words. That's not a yom and not a night. That's not a day and not a night. So you're right. A child is fine with there not being,
Well, Seder night is like, there's no such thing as a bedtime Seder
yeah.
night.
But that's the world, like that's the drawing of that world, which is not Yom and not Laila. A child can go there. That's something a child can go to. An adult is, I need to get this amount of hours of sleep because I gotta go to Shachris in the morning. Yeah.
I just got a comment. I couldn't help but looking
At the Mikatra, yeah. Just talk a little louder so I can hear you.
Here's how we got me, right? That listening now live in the States, loving the comments.
What are you talking about? Oh, someone's learning with us.
Just texted me loving the comments and listening now live in the States.
Baruch Hashem. What a ein yom ve'en laila mamish. Maybe this is the tikkun. You just got to use this Facebook Live to completely destroy this concept of time. Anyway, listen. This is really plugged. This is what we're really plugging into. Really, really strong is that this concept of what a child can relate to is the focus of the night, and a child can relate to those things that we're trying so hard to reconnect to, and this concept of really Asher hu lo yom v'lo laila is really an important thing to be focusing on. And if we're going to say, if you're drawing from the future into now, what are you kidding me? There's day, there's night, there's times, there's zmanim. What do you mean? It even says about in the whole story about in the Haggadah about they came to the Rabbi and he gives man shekriyash mashasha, because you're so out of time, you don't even realize that soon it's going to be shachar, soon it's going to be a time to daven, and you got a time to eat korban Pesach. You have a time to eat the afikomen and everything. Anyway, this is like the tension that we're trying really hard to avoid. And I really think that what Yossi brought up is a very, if you're able to do that, that's a really, it'll be an incredible thing.
Then a plug for tonight, Shir Tavid's doing something by the Makolet between 8 and 10, all the different tips, sharing tips to make it exciting for kids, things like this.
Oh, really? That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all. Yofi.
Sarah Kessler.
Tonight between 8 to 10.
8 and 10. There's a little. Makolet is a.
Yeah, there's that caravan there. Yeah. Very good.
People bring costumes. People sharing costumes. And
very good.
And all that stuff.
That's beautiful.
That's the point. The kids better get it. They better see that Dad is just a little bit different this night.
That is it. That Dad. Well, I like what Yoni said. That Abba feels like he's also a son of Hashem tonight. I really like that.
Yeah.
And even though they just have, you do have to have someone conducting. With, I don't like that word so much, but running the show, keeping a rhythm, this and that. But even that person has to also pull a frog out of his shirt. Yossi, or something, Yeah, Jay.
I find it like all this stuff is so great. Like say, okay, have fun for the kids and everything. I know that when I always go through the Seder, I find it becomes challenging because you're trying to be the words and you're trying to keep up the pace and you're trying to not skip. And even a lot
That sounds like shul too.
And a lot of times I'm trying to even read in English, so I understand what I'm reading. But you're trying to. So it's like such a. I'm just saying from Lamaisa, we're talking about now taking it a different direction. I guess my only question is, how do you fit the other part in them? Meaning, so do you just read it and fly by fast? Do you not put focus? I mean, I don't know.
I have my opinion, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you think of what he said?
Like, I'd love to go silly and make it fun and be that Ben like the Yoni's saying, and I think it, but then myself, just say everything, like I really.
Well, the essence is about having the kids connect.
But they don't connect to the words, and they don't connect to the reading. They don't.
Is it so critical then that you read every single word, they hear you reading every single word?
I don't know. Maybe that's my Balchunas syndrome. I don't know. I don't know. I always feel like I gotta read every single word.
It is. No, this is. Listen, if you do what Yossi said, you're fine.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You do. You don't. Are you meaning that the kids have to say every single word? No.
No. I'm talking about me to be able to do all this. What we're saying.
You do it afterwards. You do it afterwards. I have very close friends live up in the Golan. Yeah. Amazing family. The guy, the father is a big Talmid Chacham, big Rav. And every year when he left Seder, he felt like the biggest fraud and fake because he felt enslaved to the Haggadah. He felt like the biggest slave to the Haggadah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel that's how I feel.
So what did he start doing 2 years ago? They don't even... They don't even take out the Haggadah. I'm not paskening chas v'shalom here right now.
But then what?
I'm not. He says it later to himself.
Right.
He does it.
Some people do that during Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
Right. Hey, no problem then. You want to like skip
Right.
because you're hungry? When everyone's stuffing and stuff, take some time out and go chas
But then I feel like you're not going in order. And then you get, okay, I'm just saying my
Again, no. This is a real.
Is it brisker?
This is a real issue. No, it's all of
the
us.
matzah's in the right time.
Wait a minute, all of us.
I gotta eat my. I just.
Correct, but you hear what I'm saying is that he and his family, his 6 kids, I think 5 or 6 kids, he creates a whole Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim. They sit on the couch. They sit on. It's not even by the table. They're all leaning back on each other. Right? There is wine around, pouring each other wine. Yeah, there's this.
You gotta hear how Rabbeinu talks.
No, I know. We spoke about it on Shabbos. We spoke about it on Shabbos.
No boxes for Pesach.
No what?
No boxes for Pesach. Get another box, bro. Forget about the box.
That's right.
That's the band. That's the sons. Your child sees you as a son on Pesach. You're drawing from the future.
Well, I'm not sure what they see me as, actually. I'm still working on that one. But we'll see.
I'm not worried about how they look at you Pesach night. Maybe the rest of the year they're like,
For sure.
what were you thinking? But not, but not Pesach night. Pesach night they're proud, like, Dad's a bro. So yeah, are you kidding me? That's the great. Come on, we don't want our children to always have the year, but also be like, oh, Dad's a bro. Of course we want that. Are you kidding me? That's what we're trying to establish Seder night. Anyway, this is real. Like this whole faking the prosecution stuff. It's just very real things. You see, the prosecutor has come to every Seder that I know of that exists and says, are you doing it good enough? Did you get to this thing in time? Think about it. He's chogeg. He celebrates at Mos Darim.
That's the biggest comment I've heard in my entire Pesach career. Is they always come and say, we finished by.
Right.
I said, I hear that, I want to go.
I'm out of here.
Well,
Yeah.
number one, I want to.
Yeah, we finished by.
We finished by. Or we went till.
Right.
Oh,
You know, I've had the highest Seder that lasted till 3 in the morning. I've had the highest Seders that lasted till 11:30. It doesn't.
it's no, the
There's
whole
no Inyan.
option
That's
is not subject to
time. That's time.
It's not subject to
That's time.
Are you kidding me?
What do we say? Avdei. What's the lashon there? Avdei zman. We even speak about this, that we're slaves to time, and that's
Well,
the
the
whole.
matzah thing. It's not subject to time. It's before time.
It's before time.
Boom. That's all. There's no time. That's why
Yeah.
you got to eat the matzah.
Yeah.
You can't be subject to friggin' time.
Enslavement.
What is this? I
It
don't
is.
even have a time.
Yeah.
There's not one clock in my house that has the same time. That's a problem. It could be a problem.
It could.
I never know what.
Not on Pesach.
Pesach, I'm taking the clock. Actually, I'm taking the clocks down. Be no clocks.
Wow.
in my house.
That's very deep. You know, as we're, I'm going to reveal to you guys a little secret, but as we set out the schedule now for the next, 6 months for the shul, right? So we messed with everyone when it comes to Zman of Shabbos leaving. We didn't write the right time when Shabbos is out.
That's good. I like that.
It's Beshita a few minutes after the Zman that Shabbos is
When I
out.
was at the other show, and they started Marv a few minutes before we announced Marv here. I said,
And it'll be like this the whole time. We're out of it. That's Pasha. It cannot continue. It can't be. It can't be that if you're in Shalashidis and you're just B'dveikus, but if you show up to a Marav minyan that starts at 6:47 and you get there at 6:46, you already missed Barchel. Right? It cannot be. Anyway, that's it. There's a lot more secrets in the bag, but that's one of them for now. But anyway.
you tricked us.
We tricked the Fake it out. Fake it out. All right. Jerry, Tzavi's here tomorrow?
I have to check. I'm not sure.
Check.
Okay.
Okay? And if not, we'll continue Tuesday, Be'ezrat Hashem. All right, Shekayach, everyone.